Raising Awareness Group, Elder Council Statement on the state of affairs in the conscious community. This is not in any way a statement directed at any one individual, group, or organization. Our purpose is to bring a sense of clarity in a sea of fog that has resulted in recent public charged and often slanderous statements about elders in general. For example, opinions such as the elders aren't doing anything, the elders should intervene more often in public disputes, that elders should be playing more of a key role in directing and teaching our young people, that elders have let the community down during the civil rights era, that elders be more visible in community events and be available, along with other opinions that are rooted in being active.
It's now blown up in the public nationally. To keep it simple, vulgar language, disrespectful name-calling, baseless accusations, and even the empty, arrogant, false claims that elders are, in effect, missing in action. All of this amounts to filthy, arrogant ignorance aired out in public. Such self-destructive behavior, and the ease of which arrogant character assassination is sprayed on so many innocent folks, is poisonous to the entire progressive Black community.
Why? Arrogance like lying makes people believe they are something they are not, have something when they do not, did something when they did not, know something they know not. Ignorance combined with arrogance is guaranteed Black self-destruction. We can end this cycle. I wonder why these people think they don't have to respect the conscious elders such as myself and others. Is such disrespect warranted? And can you actually justify it with any evidence? What is your definition of an elder? Let's be clear. What you consider an elder most likely isn't an elder at all. Most likely, the person or persons you consider elders are nothing but olders. They aren't elders at all.
I wonder why those people haven't done the work we did, but continue sitting at their computers, complaining about what we didn't do. Where is your body of work? Your successes and mistakes and all. We did work they didn't even know about. Where is your Garvey, Malcolm X, Black Panthers, Dr. Yosef Ben-Jochannan, Dr. John Henry Clark, Dr. Ivan Van Sertima, Dr. Jacob Carruthers, Dr. Amos Wilson, Dr. Charles Finch, Dr. Asa G. Hilliard, Carter G. Woodson, Nat Turner, Henry Highland Garnett, Elijah Muhammad, Mumia Abu Jamal, Kwame Ture, also known as Stokely Carmichael, H. Rap Brown, George Jackson, Jonathan Jackson, Fred Hampton, Khalid Muhammad, Dr. Marimba Ani, Dr. Ishaka Musa Barashango, Ashra Kwesi, Steve Coakley, Dr. Francis Cress Welsing, and others. Where are they of your generation?
Those listed above left you a body of work and a legacy to build on. But you'd prefer we leave y'all something like the Rothschilds, Rockefellers, etc. leave their progeny without understanding that their progeny had the responsibility of doing work to maintain and further what was left to them. We are at war. How many of you really understand what being African-centered actually means? It means practicing African culture embodying all things African. In African culture, the Babas and the Nanas were highly respected, for they were and are thought of as nearest to the ancestors. Treasure and honor them while they are still here. We are here, and we have much we want to impart to you. Even in disagreeing with us, the elders, there is a proper way of doing so. Go do some real research first. Go read some of the works of these giants first. One young brother tried foolishly to accuse the conscious elders of being narcissistic. He probably doesn't even know the correct definition of the term narcissistic at all. We throw around terms without actually doing the research necessary to know the correct definitions of the terms we're using. And yet, most of the conscious elders have never been narcissistic.
I see a lot of evidence of narcissism displayed in this current generation of so-called conscious folks, though. How is it that you come to conscious elders claiming that we failed you while sidestepping over the crack era drug dealers, pimps, gangbangers, pastors, and others after all of the money they've accumulated from the Black community and not ask why they failed you? Granted, the world is quite complex. As elders, we understand from life experience that nothing difficult is easy. But in science and in nature, external aspects are not the catalyst for the internal driving force of the internal aspect. Self-motion is the engine in the car that moves it from within. When there is no engine, you are forced to push it from the back or pull it from the front.
We are Africans digging out of a Holocaust of epic proportions that would have wiped out populations from the face of the earth, as hundreds of millions of black folk were impacted and are still attempting to regain their minds, hearts, and the fruits of their labor. It is painful and sad. But we all face it, youth, elders, and ancestors. Our internal engine is integrity, honesty, character, self-respect, and respect for those who have paid dearly in life before us. Remember this when you take private internal disagreements public, external. Never any good comes out of it. We are here and never left. Remember, relationships between and among elders and youth are two-way interactions. Respect is and must always be the common denominator in both and between both.
One great example is the event that the Raising Awareness Group gave in August 2016. If you are a young person living in the Philadelphia area, you had an absolutely awesome chance to meet and build with many elders who were in attendance. The theme itself should have been called A Calling Card to All, honoring the elders and restoring the principle of Ma'at in the African community. The theme itself should have been a calling card to all, honoring the elders and restoring the principle of Ma'at in the African community. This question of where we're at and are we available should now be laid to rest in the Philadelphia area African community. Other communities have had similar events during the past year, 2016, around the country. So the question should not be where are we, but rather where are you? We also understand that you build and nurture the community on a local level. Many of us who are here in the Mid-Atlantic area will always make ourselves readily available if you need us.
One more point that needs to be dissected. What is conscious, and are there levels of consciousness? Of course there are. The needs of the individual and how those needs are satisfied are infinitely diverse. So when a person asks, what have the elders done and where are they at? You must apply the parameters of what is expected and make clear what the word where represents. These questions make crystal clear that we do indeed have a very complex problem within our community. They can only be solved by personally becoming as knowledgeable as we can through personal study and research. The pressures coming from the oppressive tools of white inferiority are challenging enough, even more daunting, with ourselves adding these literal self-hate non-issues to the mix. Vulgar language, lewd dress, disrespect of our elders and our women, abuse of our children are some of the things we detest and deem unacceptable. In order for us to rise, we need to drop all perverted European cultural programming. Our consumption of their media in all of its manifestations must be stopped or at least dramatically reduced.
We are committed to the ideals of the sacred nuclear African family, the original Trinity: Black mother, Black father, Black child, and will never endorse, prescribe to, or hold a passive attitude about the effeminization of the Black man, the masculinization of the Black woman, or homosexuality as a viable lifestyle. We know it means genocide. Because we know that we have been at war for hundreds of years, the only way to turn our fortunes around is through the cultural education of our youth. We must think generational, just as our enemy does. To sum up, this is a time of sober assessments, honest reflection, and healthy respect for each other. For elders, this is a time of rededication to the fundamentals of apprenticeship, initiation, youth rites of passage, and passing the baton. Institutions for these organizational activities must be built.
And our resurrected elders councils, like raising awareness groups, should be the foundation in every single African community around the country. Every great institution in our conscious communities need working elders councils that are based in integrity and intelligent best practices. Build the elders councils nationally and internationally, then organize and coordinate them. It was a fundamental vehicle in our ancient civilizations for transmitting culture, progressive tradition, and wisdom. It is sorely needed today. No, we cannot go back and live in the past. We can learn our past and learn from it, then redeem our civilization's past in our present and future. We can then reconnect, restore, resurrect, and renew the best of African civilizations in our head, heart, and hands by modernizing and building with those best practices from the past. For instance, architecture, federal government, some dress-up clothes, food, hair, morality, and ethics principles, precision and love of the applied sciences and arts, ethical planning, worldview, political unity, and state-run economics, family structure, rites of passage, educational apprentices, language, and many other areas of material culture. These elements of material culture can be brought back to life wherever Africans live and have some measure of control, especially in North America, Central America, South America, Europe, Asia, the Caribbean, and most importantly, Africa. Healthy, respectful work among African elders and youth is the foundational key to this African Renaissance.